Hey guys, let me get back here and check the trail cam again. I'd say it's been, maybe at least 4 weeks, probably 5, since I've been in here. I haven't moved it. I've still got it back here by the Beehive. So I would say that we are, what are we, about a month and a half maybe out from the bow season opener here in the Show Me State. We open September 15th. I don't know that I'll be hunting that early. It's usually pretty warm. I'd say this year, as warm as it's been, we've had a heat pocket right over us. Tons of days where we've had temperatures over 100 degrees. Thankfully, we haven't had a lot of humidity though, so it's made it really a lot more bearable. But there's been a lot of crops suffer this year. The beans, the corn, as dry as it's been, I'm not really too sure how good of an acorn crop we're going to have. One thing I can say though is that in dry times, try to key on that water. Try to key on those secluded water holes. Since I'm a bow hunter primarily, I'm going to have the secluded water holes. I can't have the big water holes out in the open. Going to have the ones where the trails lead up to them and the little pockets of timber and whatnot. They're going to be thirsty. They're going to have to hydrate. They're just like us, they need a lot of water. We'll get back in here, check the trail cam. Hopefully we'll have some good footage on there. In the past I've had a fox. Some really nice pictures of a buck a while back. Hopefully he's on there and been using the area and growing a little bit. So get back in there and see if he decided to pay us a visit. So stay tuned. Here's one of these water holes that I think may come into play this year. Got a few of them out here, see if we can take advantage of them. See if we can get some stands placed sometime down the road in good positions with regard to these water holes. It's never too early to scout for stand locations, or anything else for all that matters. Being a professional land surveyor, I can't help it keep my eyes out for sign as I'm doing my job. You just never know what tracks you'll come across, or stand locations, places to put lick sites. I just love it. Can't get enough of it. And I want to thank the folks who allow me to use their properties. I really appreciate it. It'll be an awful long time before I could afford something like this for myself. Thanks, guys. I need to point something out for the folks who are just getting started here in deer hunting. We got a pond here due to a drought situation in the Show Me State. Lack of water for a long time. But if you keep your eyes out for this sort of thing, it'll kind of help you know exactly how often a pond is getting hit as a water source. I'd say this pond right here is, I don't know, it might be down maybe 3 feet, somewhere in that vicinity. 2.5 feet. If you take a look at the edges here and you start getting down, this is really hard dirt right here. There's deer tracks up in here. As you start getting closer to the water, there's more deer tracks. The dirt gets a little bit softer, kind of a mix between the hard and the soft stuff. And there's tracks there too. There's tracks all the way down into the water. And you've got varying levels of tracks all the way up. Now that says to me one very important thing. This pond is being used as a water source quite frequently for the deer herd out here. So keep that in mind when you're doing your scouting. A little bit more of a close-up what I'm talking about here. Deer tracks in the hard stuff, and they're starting to get down into the soft stuff. And you can also see what other critters are out here too. I'm seeing some coon tracks too. Seeing some turkey feathers. And you just never know, there might be some catfish out here. Speaking of turkey feathers, there's one right out in the muck. I'm going to leave the camera tripod in there for scale. Thinking about doing here is putting one of my 15-foot ladder stands up here in this tree. And then as you start getting a little bit higher, maybe a climbing stick and a hang-on. There's quite a bit of limbs up there that are going to break me up come bow season. This particular area here of the property is just like a deer magnet. Saw lots of deer activity here last year. In and around this decent pond. Been seeing a lot of off-season sign. And I found that big old buck dead. You'll have to check that video out. That was one amazing deer. See if I can throw the name of it up here, or the link in the description of the video for you here. But it's kind of a bittersweet deal. It shows you how nice the deer herd is out here. The genetics are in place, but that particular deer was probably a shot from somebody that got away. It just looked too healthy to me to, I don't know. I'll let you look at it and you be the judge, but it's a nice deer. This particular part here of the pond I'm on at the moment is another good representation of an area where the deer are using it all season, all throughout the summer. And it's also in a relatively shallow area. Deer are like us, they're lazy. They want to find the easiest way to access a food source, a water source, what have you. I see trails coming through the tall, thick grass in here of animals that are the size of a deer. And this is one of the relatively shallow areas of the pond where they can step out in it, cool their legs down a little bit, kind of help reduce their body temperature, and get a drink without having to put forth too much effort. So just think about what would be easy for you, and that may be what you want to consider when you're thinking about where to put a stand. Oh, cool. Spooked a couple of coons here. Pretty little critters. Wish I could zoom in a little closer on that dude. Yeah, I wish I could zoom a little tighter. But they're just up there hanging out, trying to stay away from me. I'm standing right in the middle of an area that holds an awful lot of water. This is an area that I had considered early in the year putting a deer cane site, some sort of nutritional block or what have you in this area, but I was kind of thinking that it would be overrun by the spring waters and everything. Well, we've had a major drought situation, as I've been saying, in the Missouri area, kind of pretty much centered over Missouri and those central states for some time now, and we are just bone dry out here. So what water was in here has really subsided. Well, the deer like to use this area. There's a lot of trails coming in and out of here. There's a creek right over here. They come in and out. Actually, what I'm trying to do is get a pretty good inventory of the deer that are actually out here. And I'd like to put my trail camera on this once I establish this as a mineral site. And since I don't have any trees to put a trail camera on that are in this immediate vicinity, this one's just not going to do. Probably have to get a landscape timber and fashion a point on it and drive it into the ground. I give that some more thought. You never know what might happen. Stay tuned. Well, you are pretty close to where the Bushnell Trophy Cam is on the tree. So this view that you're seeing is what you're about to see on the trail cam pics. I can't wait to see what's on here. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for some antlers. But you know what? Either way, I'm fine with it. I just really like getting out here and enjoying God's creation.